Hiya, welcome to the Misfits Makery. Today we're going to be making the Mini Mushie Wreath. So I just want to show you what you've got in your box. You've got your little wreath, which we'll just set aside for now. You've got your little hand-painted mushie, which already has the wire attached to the bottom. All of these will vary in colour and design from box to box. Then you've got a collection of little flowers and then some little paper flowers with wires on the back. You've got a piece of wire that's cut to length, some jute string, a tiny crystal. You've got glue, your hanging ring, a chain, that's a jump ring, some feathers, and then in your stripy bag you will have some dried moss. So we're going to start out with your wreath and your little mushie. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the wire across the inside of the wreath. So you've got one going out the back and one going out the front. And you're going to hold it kind of loosely in position and then pull it tight with the wire. And if you hold it like that, you can just twist it around, twist the wreaths a little bit easier so you don't lose a grip of the wire. Just reposition your mushie a little bit. From there, you can just wrap your wires around the wreath. I just do this because it's a little bit more secure. You can just cut the wires off with a decent pair of scissors, but if it's wrapped around, it's less likely that the wire will come unwrapped. So I'm just going to tuck these little bits in here. You won't be able to see these later because they're going to be covered in moss, but just to show you that if you tuck them in, there's wires that hold the wreath together. You can just tuck the silver wire underneath there. And then if you just make sure he's in the right place, give it a little shake, he's really secure. So some of the crystals will come with a little silver clasp on them, but if you have a crystal without, then you'll get some wire. I'm just going to show you how to make the clasp. So you're going to hold the wire on the crystal and you're just going to wrap the wire around nice and tight, sort of 2 or 3 times. And then what you can do is you grab hold of the other side and twist it around, just like you did when you were securing the mushie to the wreath. And that will just really secure it on there. And then you can add a few more twists around so that the wire looks like one wire instead of 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a little loop that goes over the top of the crystal. Before you complete that loop, grab your split jump ring and just feed it onto the wire, because it's a lot easier just to get this little ring on there whilst it's not attached at the other end. And from there you're just going to carry on twisting the wires around until there's enough to get round to the other side. Can just mold it into shape a little bit over the top of that. And then if you open the wires up, what you'll do is you'll wrap around the crystal in opposite directions. Just make sure that your jump loop's out the way so it doesn't get tangled. Do another twist the other side so it's nice and secure. And then you can just wrap the excess wire around the crystal. You've got a couple of options there. You can wrap it all the way around, or if you want to, you can just grab a pair of scissors and cut that excess off. It's totally up to you how you want your crystal to look. Next thing you need to do is to grab your crystal and attach it to your chain. If you just sort of pop your fingernail in between the 2 bits of metal, you'll be able to open it up enough to slide the chain through. So just pop it through on the very last loop of your chain, and then you can just spin it around until it's secure inside the ring. I'm just going to show you how to attach your crystal to your wreath. I grabbed a separate wreath just so it's nice and clear for you to see. You have to decide how long the chain's going to be, and remember that your mushies will be standing up underneath these crystals, so you don't want the chain to be too long, but how long it is and where you position it is totally up to you. So you'll find a little 10 centimetre piece of wire in your kit. Just slide it through at one of the links once you've decided how long you want it to be, and the link that will be closer to the bottom of the wreath. Then just wrap it around the top of the wreath, and again pull it nice and tight like you did with the mushie and just give it a twist. From here you can tuck in the excess wire and the excess chain, or you can just snip it off with some sharp scissors. So I'm going to show you how to hang your little wooden ring on. Grab your jute string and fold it in half, and then just going to poke it through the ring and then hook it over the tail ends and pull it tight. Then you just need to hold the string in place at the back of the wreath and wrap the jute around until you've only got 2 little tails left, and then you can use those tails to secure the string at the back of the wreath. This is also a good opportunity to use the string to cover up the wire that we used to attach the crystal. Now we're onto the feathers. So the feathers don't need anything to attach them because of the way the wreath is made. You can actually just tuck them into the wires and in between the bits of rattan that make up the wreath, and you just kind of plonk them wherever you like, really. There are no rules. Just make sure that you push them down far enough so they're not just going to slip out. But you'll know when they feel quite secure. So it's time to move on to the moss. You'll have a little pot of PVA glue, and sometimes it's quite handy to have a little brush to smush the glue around, but I just wanted to show you that you don't need a little brush. So if you just squidge on some glue and then put the moss on in little bits, what that does will allow you to make sure the moss is secure and you've got a little bit more control over where you're putting it if it's in smaller bits. So the main goal with this is to sort of cover up our wires and the things that we've used to secure on the mushie and the crystals and things. So just go at it, really. There are no rules. There's never rules. Always do it how you want it. I just like to make sure that I've covered all the silver wire that secures everything. So I think a little speedy uppy, and it just show you that it goes across the bottom as well, and I go across the back just because I can. And there's quite a decent amount of moss in the packs, so you definitely will not run out with the mini mushie. Just squidge a little bit up there. So now we're on to the flowers. You're just going to stick those on with the PVA like you did the moss. Just make sure you've squidged enough glue around that little stalky bit. And then if you just push it down into the moss, if you push down hard enough, you'll feel that the stalky bit slides down in between the bits of the wreath, and that will just hold it in place a little bit more. There is quite a few in a pack. You'll have up to 15 flowers in a pack, so you can really just go at it, put as many on there or as few on there as you want, and it just kind of builds it up and makes it look a little bit more woodlandy, which is super cute. So I'll just do a little speedy bit. I'm just going to show you the other flowers. So these ones have got wires on the end, and you don't need the glue for these, because what you'll do is you'll just jam it all the way through the wreath, and then you'll see it poke out the other side. And if you pull it tight, you can just kind of bend it into place, and from there you can tuck it into the wreath so that you can't see the wire, or if there's a little bit of excess you can just snip that off with a pair of scissors. But those ones, they're quite nice because they sit nice and securely, like without the need for the moss. Just stick a couple more on there. And there you have your little mini mushy wreath. They're super cute. I'm totally in love with them. And you just need to find somewhere sweet to hang it, and you're all set. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!